I'm only believe on Jassi Bhai because game changer player. He's only one guy, is Jasprit Bumrah. I thought this.
Welcome to Two Wickets Down, the podcast where cricket takes the center stage and the conversation goes wherever the game takes us. It has been a while, but like a test match with rain delay, we're back and we're ready to go for the Champions Trophy and the upcoming England series. Vasu, how are you? It has been a while.
It's great, and I also believe in Jassi Bhai.
Yeah, I think I
We
think
all believe in Jassi Bhai.
if there's the one thing we've learned from the Australian series and for the upcoming Champions Trophy, we do only believe in Jassi Bhai.
In Jassi Bhai, he is the only one left to believe in.
Yeah, honestly.
So,
Okay,
how are you
yeah,
keeping?
yeah, pretty good. It's been a while, but happy to get back
Yeah,
into it. And we'll promise we'll try to be more consistent, trying to do like at least every 2 weeks, I think maybe depend. And I think I think after, yeah, and after the Champions Trophy, I think we'll do probably like every day, every other day, depending on how the games are going and the schedule that aligns between us. But to get into it, Champions Trophy, squad announced. I'll run through the team and then you can give me your opinion, right? So we have Rohit
mm-hmm.
Sharma as captain, no surprise there. Shubman Gill, Jaiswal, Kohli, Iyer, KL Rahul, Rishabh Pant, Hardik Pandya, Jadeja, Akshar Patel, Washington Sundar, Kuldeep Yadav, Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Shami, and Arshdeep Singh. That is India's 15-man squad. For the moment, they have until February 11th to make changes to this.
Yeah. So, I mean, pretty much a lot of people were expecting this to be. I am sort of surprised with one or two players, but I but I'm not really surprised at all there. But yes, one. I mean, as I said, not surprised, surprised, kind of double up. Yeah, but yeah, Siraj, I think was the one that kind of missed out on this there. Yeah, but I think he might have done. I think with the conditions that the matches are going to be in, I think he he was a bit unlucky to miss out on the team there. Other than that, I'm not really surprised with the team there.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much, I
Yeah.
think, what I said to you before we started recording. It's pretty much
hmm
nearly an identical team as the ODI World Cup that happened in India in
hmm
2023. I do think Siraj missing out is a little bit of a miss. I mean, I think what everyone said after the Australian series, he is a bit cooked. He plays every format, every like ODI T20s, test match. He plays every format. He's a bit cooked. But I I think the batting lineup, whether are not regardless of the form, kind of picked itself. To be honest, the bowling is a little bit of a interesting for me because I like the inclusion of Arshdeep Singh, but going with three finger spinners and not having another fast bowler, especially when you know Bumrah's carrying an injury right now, right? And we don't know how he's going to
hmm
be for like we don't know what's his status at all. Like they've been very quiet about Bumrah. Like they even said it in the press conference, I think that like he's injured, but we've still picked him. So to not pick another fast bowler is kind of a little bit surprising. But apart from that, no real surprises. Shubman Gill as
No,
vice captain kind of stood out to me a little bit, to be quite honest with you. I didn't
I
think.
think they are looking for him for the future there,
I mean, with Bunt
but his
there,
performances he's
with
not been
yeah,
shown.
that's I mean, as much as I think he got so much hate, but I think Hardik Pandya is
hmm
right there.
No, but he should. But you look at this now, but Hardik Pandya has not even been made vice captain for the upcoming England series there.
That's my point.
So,
Like Shubman Gill
so but
being given
Hardik
captains.
Pandya,
Shubman, I think you've Rishabh Pant there, you have Hardik Pandya, you have Bumrah. Bumrah is obviously hit or miss right now because I don't think that they want to give him too much captaincy role immediately. But I don't know. Shubman Gill just being vice captain was one of the things that I was like
but
kind of
the
raised my.
Shubman Gill thing is that they're looking for the future with Shubman Gill, but I mean he's not been playing
That's
what
my
he
that's
should be playing like
that's exactly my
for a
point.
very
Like
long time there.
how can you consider someone to be a vice captain when they are fighting for their spot? in every like series,
I
right?
mean,
Like,
like, yeah,
I mean,
Jess
let's
falls
take
there
an
for him.
yeah, let's I mean take think of an example when let's say when Dhoni gave the captaincy to Kohli, Kohli's went to Rohit Sharma, like all of those people who got the captaincy or who were vice captain at the time picked it like they were permanent team members. So to have a team member who's vice captain who's not really nailed down and I don't know how, and Jesswell competes for the same spot a lot of the time. So that was another thing. It'll be interesting to see if India do make any changes. And
I
another
mean,
thing with Mohammad Shami's back in the team after a long time, which will be interesting to see how he does. Kuldeep Yadav's also coming back from an injury too. So
yeah. hmm The only thing I didn't, I mean, like the only thing I was kind of surprised. I'm not saying I'm kind of surprised, but I didn't like is uh, they shouldn't. I mean, they should have like. It's just like the thing with the Jadeja. I mean, like I mean, he's past his prime. Like they should just. I'm not why they're like sticking with him. Like I mean,
that
like
was
you've already
my.
got Akshar Patel. Like you've already got Akshar Patel in the team, right, who does the same thing. Like who's a finger spinner
I
and
also think
at the moment who's a much better batsman.
I also think with Jadeja, especially like we'll play our matches in Dubai,
hmm
right? I don't think so. It's not.
I
It's
think
like
that's the only reason he got picked. And you already have you already have another spinner in Kuldeep Yadav there. You
you
don't
have,
need another.
yeah, and then you have Washington Sundar too. Like you
Yeah,
have a spinner. That's why for me the Siraj not playing is like, especially on those like Dubai pitches, Siraj would have been. I think it suits him more those pitches. Like
yeah. And
yeah,
I read a stat there as well that since 2022, Siraj, out of all any bowler, not just in India, out of all any international bowlers, he's taken the most wickets in ODI cricket.
yeah, because I mean he's probably played half of them against Sri Lanka to be honest. That probably makes up for half of for more than them. He's probably played them against Sri Lanka. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Siraj missing out is a thing. And I have a feeling, I have a I have a feeling this is a prediction. I think Siraj will be back in the team by the time Champions Trophy starts.
I
I
mean, like they could have easily have left out Jadeja, and I mean, because you already have too much. You already have like three spinners, and I thought what's his name? Karun Nair was hard done by, really hard done by. I
Karun
mean,
Nair
have you
is
looked
one
at
of those
it?
things. Karun Nair is one of those things where everyone says how he's hard done by, right? But everyone understands it that like, um, because my only thing is, right, who else are you dropping for to make Karun Nair space? Like, I understand he's been hard done by, but like, who makes the room? Who makes room for him, right? Because if you were to drop Jadeja, your replacement has to be what's his name? Mohammad Siraj in that case, then, because you already don't have enough fast bowling, in my opinion, and your main fast bowler, the
No,
one and
no, but
only
you have three
Jassi, the one
fast.
and only,
You already
yeah,
have.
but the your one fast bowler, Jasprit Bumrah, is already what do you call, kind of 50-50 at this point. Like, I mean, I don't think so. I mean,
But the thing is, but you have Hardik Pandya there.
yeah, but Hardik Pandya you have to keep as like an all-rounder anyways. So, and I mean,
Yeah,
look
but the
at
thing is,
you.
Hardik Pandya is going to bowl you 8 overs there.
Yeah, on some games, but my point, but like, I mean, if you look at it from another point of view, if I pull up that team, you have a lot of batting. I don't know if I don't think so. This team needs more batting. Like you have Hardik Pandya who's bad, Akshay Patel and Washington Sundar will both bat, right? So your batting goes that deep down. Like, do you need? I don't know. Like in your 15-man squad, do you need another batsman? That is not to say I'm not. This is not nothing against Corona. This is just more of like who makes space for him to come in, apart from dropping Jadeja for a batsman. I don't know. I just think like dropping Jadeja for another batsman is just it's I don't know. It could work out, but it's just an interesting decision. I mean, I will say the one thing that I am liking about this team is we have a fit Hardik Pandya at the moment, touch wood right now, because I think having a fast bowler like him who can bat and bowl gives really just balances out the squad. It was the same thing in
Hmm.
the T20 World Cup, right? When he was batting and bowling for us, like he really does balance the squad out, I think, Hardik Pandya.
Yeah, no, that's the main thing because
I think
he's
out
the
of
only
everyone, it's funny. I think out of everyone who's been picked on that list, I think obviously apart from your like specialist players, I think he is that key to this squad.
because he's the only fast bowling all rounder we have.
And I think India, as much as we've been talking about like Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli and Mohammad Siraj and all these people who and Jadeja who really not performed for a bit, is we really
Mhm.
also need to start hunting for another fast bowler all rounder.
I mean, we could have really done with him like a fully fit Hardik Pandya, who still, if he was still playing Test cricket in Australia.
I mean, yeah, honestly, he would have been so crucial for us in that series. We just needed
Mhm.
another bowler because I think that's what you saw with Australia,
Yeah.
right? Like you had so many bowlers who chipped uh, in that. And I mean, just before we head off to that, what are your thoughts on this whole suddenly everyone in India apart from Bumrah is been told to go play Ranji Trophy now? Everyone. You have Jay Shah and Virat Kohli unfollowing each other on Instagram. Apparently, you
Oh,
have you have
that's the biggest.
Kohli and KL with neck sprains and back spasms for Delhi Ranji Trophy. Um, but I think everyone apart from Kohli has been confirmed to be playing in a match like immediately. Apart from KL, I think KL actually has an injury where Kohli's is a little up in the air. But from what I saw, so I saw on Twitter, I don't know who posted it, but Kohli is set to play on the 30th of January in Ranji for Delhi, which will be interesting because I don't think so. I think the last time Kohli played a Ranji Trophy match was in 2012.
Is Sarfaraz playing Ranji cricket?
Sarfaraz has been banished from. I don't think so. Sarfaraz is gonna see the light of day. I mean, talking about that. So, Sarfaraz being the leaker in the
Sarfaraz has been the WikiLeaks of the.
yeah of the during the Border Gavaskar
Yeah.
Trophy. I mean,
Like what?
moving on to the Border Gavaskar Trophy. What did you make of it? What did you make of the series as a whole?
Oh, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I mean, I wasn't happy with the result of it, but it, it was just amazing to watch.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I think this was nearly a repeat of the BGT where Bunt saved us, right? Where he saved us in Sydney and then we won at the Gabba. But this time, I just
It was
think
Bumrah there.
I think it was Bumrah, but this time our like he just but all Bumrah needed was a bit of support staff in his
Yeah,
bowling.
but like,
And I
but
and I don't and the
yeah,
thing is I don't really know who you blame apart from like obviously apart from Bumrah because I do think your other fast bowlers. I mean, I will say for Siraj, I do think he's not obviously he's not your main. He can lead the bowling attack, but he's definitely what do you call? He was overcooked a little bit. I think you could really tell he was just physically done.
ah,
Um, but I don't think so either of the other two. Akash Deep seemed okay, but he also wasn't too consistent throughout the games he played. And who was the other guy? Was
Harshit
it?
Rana in the first game, I think, the first two games, and
Mm,
then Prasidh Krishna came back. Prasidh Krishna came in for the last game. But the thing is, there's besides Bumrah, there's just no consistency at all from the other bowlers. Like if Bumrah's been putting on pressure on the other end, but there was no consistency, no pressure being put on it as well there. Like there was just absolutely nothing there from the other end. So
yeah.
so I mean like the Bumrah he just had to do everything himself, absolutely everything. And and just I'm not gonna even talk about the batting because I'm just gonna lose my head there if I speak about the batting.
I mean, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Another few scan. Rohit Sharma missed the first Test match. I think. Well, I can't remember the reason now. It feels like a century
Oh,
ago.
uh, his his wife was pregnant, that she was giving birth to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So he obviously rightfully missed the first test match. Um, and then he came back for we won the first test match, funny enough. But actually, let's get to the batting first, right? So batting from top down, just a total collapse for India in every, honestly, like I don't think I can pick a player who left that series with any um kind of thing of like, yeah, I did good this series because you thought like originally after the first two test matches, right? That what do you call sort of certain players were performing better um and stuff. I will say Jaiswal probably was our best batsman, but even then, I think like, I mean, if you're critiquing someone, I think also he started to show signs of inconsistency too, right? Jaiswal.
No, so Jaiswal and at okay, so first of all, I'd like to say the best player on that tour for India, like in terms of batting, like right, had to be Jaiswal there. And like obviously I'm gonna come to like I think both of us are gonna come to this fella there later on after this. And up to a certain point, Rishabh Pant at towards the end of it there. But then at the end, but then look, most of all there is Reddy, like Nitish Reddy.
I
The amount
think,
of times he saved us.
I mean, if you
Yeah,
count, I
yeah.
mean, if you think about it, right? If you think about it, let's say five test matches, right? So there's 10 innings.
Hmm.
Jaiswal out of five, I mean, I'm just giving you, like, not harping on him, but I'm trying to set the standards we had in this series. Out of 10 series, out of the 10 innings he played, he had three good innings. He
No,
had
but
a
if you look at it like,
yeah, but
but
my point is that is the that would like let me I'm saying out of 10 innings he had three good innings, right? That was our best batsman in this series.
but no, but I'm looking at the point of view like what at what point he scored those good innings there.
Yeah,
He scored an
I'm not
80
saying
odd.
I'm not saying he like I'm not critiquing him. I'm just saying like that is their best player in terms of batting is someone who played three good innings in a five match series. That like that's how
Like
bad we were as a unit. Like that's our best batsman in terms of like high scoring runs.
like that game at Melbourne, which we lost, which I still cannot get over my, which I cannot still understand
Yeah, he
there,
scored
where
82 and
we,
84 in
yeah,
Melbourne,
and like
and
he
then he
almost
scored
scored,
a
he was almost about to save that match,
and he
where he
also
scored
scored a
82 there.
161. He also scored a 161 in Perth, the game we won. And apart from that, like to be critiquing him, he also, I mean, failed in every other innings after that
Yeah,
too.
so
Well, my point, or what I'm trying to make with my point there is that was our best. What do you call batsman? Was someone who scored.
yeah, but like
Uh,
that's the thing. But that's the thing with that series. Nobody, but not many people but not many people scored runs either way. Like on both sides there.
yeah, but if you were to
Towards
like
the
yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
but
if you were to like look at a difference, right? The difference was our bowling attack. Like in between, if you were to say what was the difference, I think both
Mhm.
teams had bad batting for sure. I think we can definitely say that. Um, I think the difference was they had a better bowling attack than us, and it
Oh
showed.
yeah, yeah, much better, much
That was
better.
it. I mean, Bumrah had seven more wickets than Pat Cummins, who was their highest wicket taker. But then if you look at like Scott Boland didn't play the first game or the first two games. I think first game. I don't know how many.
First game.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think he missed the first one and a half games, I think, right? And he took 21 wickets, which is four less than Pat Cummins. He absolutely like was unreal for I think he changed the series for Australia as Scott Boland. To be
Oh, he
quite
did. Yeah,
honest.
he definitely did. Yeah.
Scott Boland, like if Australia had won that series. I know, I mean, sorry, for me, like he was their man of the series. I know Travis had a lot more runs than anyone else, and Pat Cummins took more wickets, but Scott Boland changed their whole series after losing in
Yeah, because
Perth.
I still think, I mean, like people might say, oh, this is well, like this, but I think if Scott Poland, I think if Josh Hazelwood had played, it still had been fit, I think it might have been a different result in that series. I think that series might have been a draw.
I would agree with you. I think we could have drawn that
Yeah,
series, but Scott Boland
yeah,
absolutely wrecked us because I really do think we had the answers for a lot of their other batsmen. I think Travis Head had a one or two good innings against us, but considering what he's done against us
yeah.
in the past, we did come with a game plan for Travis Head. Steve Smith somehow, I don't know how Mohammed Siraj has Steve Smith's number, but he really does at times. Um, out of all the players Mohammed Siraj likes to get out, Steve Smith is one of them. Um, I mean, even like, yeah, it was just it's just
But some of
how
the things that India just couldn't get right, like I mean,
I
some of the thing games that
I
India left,
think,
the
I mean, we'll
places
get to
lost
the
from.
batting. I mean, we'll get to the batting of Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, Virat Kohli. Just a total disaster. I
Hmm.
mean, like, I think KL Rahul had a one good innings. I think Kohli had one good innings. But like Rohit Sharma played, in my opinion, like to the point where he dropped himself. Like essentially, like that is the level of we got to in a test series where where he dropped himself. But I think the biggest thing I would say for Rohit Sharma was not his batting, was his captaincy, I think.
Oh, it's exactly 100%. Yeah.
I can give I mean for any batsman on this series, right? Because we just talked about it. As much as India's batting was horrible, like so was Australia's. Like Australia
Hmm.
outperformed us on the batting side just a little bit better than us, Australia. So it's hard to judge both teams batting because both teams batted terribly, I think. But the difference, I think, was the bowling lineup and Rohit Sharma's captaincy because I look at Bumrah's captaincy in the first Test match, and that reminds me of like, in my opinion, the captaincy of more of like the modern Test captaincy where you're very aggressive, right? Like you're very aggressive, you're pushing for the result. And I think you saw Rohit Sharma come in the from the second Test match onwards, and it just felt like he took the sting out of the team a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think like that Melbourne game, that first innings where Pat Cummins, Pat Cummins, like they were what I'm not sure, like they were 300 for six or something, 300 for something, 300 something got for six or 300 something for that stuff,
They were
and then
299. They were 299 for six in the first innings.
six, yeah, and then Pat Cummins and Steve Smith put on a partnership of 100 runs. I
Yeah,
mean,
more than 100 runs. Yeah,
more than 100 runs, and then Australia went on to make 430 odd runs in that first innings.
474.
474, yes, 474 in the first innings.
Yeah,
Yeah, because that 100 run partnership there, and then in the second innings, the same thing happens. Like India had them 96 for six. I mean, okay, first of all, the amount of times Labuschagne survived in that game. Oh my God, in that second innings, they
but
had
do
like,
you know the thing is like when things aren't going your way, like everything doesn't go your way. And I will say that's just how sports is, right? Like when something doesn't go your way, like nothing goes your way. But
yeah, I don't
it
give.
was
Okay,
just it was just the intensity that he absolutely, I think, like killed in the team. Um,
yeah, and afterwards, when they had the bowler, when they had like when they had when Australia were only 270 runs ahead, and afterwards they were still Australia were eight down, and then finally it was when it was when Boland and Nathan Lyons came out to bat. He got so defensive, so defensive. He put the fielders back. I mean, you're trying to get someone out, put the fielders up. I mean, get the fielders in. But no, he just got so defensive.
I also think one of the biggest things with Rohit Sharma, which I think is probably, I think something he's really good at as a captain in the past is utilizing his bowlers. And I think the way we utilized our spinners as a unit this series was, I think, horrible.
Yeah,
I don't think so. Our spinners were non-existent this whole series. I mean,
well, they were.
You brought Ravi Ashwin into a series where he retired after two games because he knew he wasn't getting a game.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. They were
I beg the
non-existent. He
question.
left after two games.
Yeah, I beg the question. Why even have him on the plane then? Like, you've just wasted a spot. Like, I mean, if you had no intentions of playing him, why bring him on the plane? Just I don't get
Well, we
it.
have to ask. Well, we have to ask Surfraz what went on there.
Yeah, so for us, man, DM us on Instagram. Give us a leak.
Yeah,
Give us the leak. Give us the leak.
give us the leak. Yeah,
Yeah,
get
I
him on the
mean,
show. Let him know.
get
Let
him on
us
the
know.
show.
Let us
Um,
know.
I just
No, I
don't
mean
get it.
that's
Like
definitely.
just things like that. Even like with Gum, like I'm, and this kind of maybe goes a bit to like more of the recent changes with Gambhir coming in as and his coaching staff. Um, just some of the decisions of like bringing Ashwin, like, and it's fine. Like, I'm not saying people aren't saying you have to pick Ashwin, but like, don't bring him if you have no intentions of playing him. Um, and then you gave him a game for like pity's sake, it felt like, to give him a
Yeah,
retirement
exactly.
game, which like
Yeah,
I
like you
don't
give
think so.
him a
This is a
retirement game.
series. This is not a series where you give someone a retirement game. You come to Australia where you've won the first test match. Like you should be pushing for it, and you're giving someone who you do not want to play a send-off game. Like it just felt like really weird. Someone had a stat like
And
Morne Morkel being your bowling coach. Someone said Morne Morkel has not ever completed his contract for any of the jobs he's ever taken as a bowling coach. And I'm
yeah, he
like,
left Pakistan the position within like 6 or 9 months there. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Someone also had it for like other things, and I'm like, this just fills me with confidence of seeing Gambhir and his coaching staff come in. I mean, they have another big series coming up in. I mean, he's had a loss home to New Zealand, um, getting embarrassed at Australia for most of it, and even if it was an embarrassment, you definitely just you weren't prepped for it as well as you should be. Like the game plan was off a little bit. And now you have England at home. And I think England are going to come into this series in India with confidence because they've just seen what New Zealand did to us at home. I know it was a test series, but I think they'll be pretty confident with themselves.
Yeah, it was it India have never lost to England in a T20 series
I
in
mean,
10 years.
we'd never lost a home series in test match. I don't know in how long. Um, but we broke that record recently, so who knows?
You know, Kabir's like, I'm here to break records. Yeah,
Gum,
no, and then
uh,
man, and then especially like as you were mentioning, like Pat Cummins, and he was something else at this series as well. Like the amount of times he's saved Australia from like just not with his bowling, but his batting, as
Oh
we
no
were
no
mentioning. Like
his bowling obviously like no one is ever gonna question a what do you
but
call it? His
the amount of times he's
yeah
come out
his
and made
batting I
like
think his batting is uh what do you call it? His batting was unbelievable this series. It
yeah
reminded me of how Bumrah and Shami batted in England in 2021 that series. You know how we used to, our tail actually was really good in that series where they put a like 100-run partnership against England in that series in
yeah,
Lords.
but
That but like it reminded me of that where every time he came out to bat, you had a feeling like
yeah,
they were
like
gonna put some runs on.
but like he just every time he looked like like the game was getting away from Australia, he come out scored like a 40, 45, 50, and then there we go, Australia are back in the game there. Like, the thing is, he was unbelievable in this series, absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean him, I think I mean it'll be very interesting to hear what happens, the hype around what's his name?
Sam Constas.
Sam Consas, whatever that debacle was. And you know the vibe was just off. Like the vibe was off too with some of the behavior, like Kohli beefing with him. Like it just felt like so many I mean obviously it turned out to be not a big issue between them two, like but it just felt like I felt like we were so what do you call like after we started losing, it just felt
I
like we
think he just
go.
caught. I think he just caught I thought he just caught India off. He just caught India off guard with all those shots there.
And I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. Like he absolutely um did catch India off guard, but I think he nearly did it again in the second innings. But I think after that, India kind of copped on a little bit to what he was doing.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, apart from that, like I just I don't know. I'm very interested to see where. I mean, let's quickly have a look at India's future. We have a tour of Current cricket. What's currently coming? We have India versus England coming up right now. We have, what is this? Uh,
And then I think South Africa
five
visit India.
T20s, five T20s, and three ODIs. Um, I think the first one starts this Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday, Saturday, and then Tuesday. So that'll be a very interesting series. Honestly, I think with the way India have been, I think we should use this as like getting our like this would be a good series for let's see how Mohammad Shami is doing after coming back from injury.
I don't think Mohammad Shami is part of the squad, or is he?
I think he is part squad. Let me just
I
check
think
that.
he is. Yeah, I think he is. Yeah.
I think he is part of the squad. I think he's playing. Yeah, he's
Or
part
no,
of the T20 squad.
he's part of the T20 squad. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm assuming he'll definitely be part of the ODI squad for sure.
Oh, I don't think
He
I
is
don't
part of
think
the ODI.
Siraj is part of the. Is Siraj part of the ODI squad? Because I don't think Siraj is part of the ODI squad.
I
I think
think
they have
Siraj is not playing any of the games this
yeah.
series. I
I
think
think Siraj is
Siraj is
part of the
completely rested.
yeah.
Siraj is not
I think
playing
for the
either
ODI
the
squad. For the
just
ODI squad, Bumrah is not there either. For Bumrah, they have what's his name, Harshit Rana.
yeah, Bumrah is not playing anything. Versus in this England's tour coming up, and Mohammad Siraj is completely rested from what I can see.
Yeah, that was a given that Bumrah won't be playing any games
Yeah, yeah,
for
Bumrah won't be
the England
playing for
team.
sure. That is obvious. But it seems like Mohammad Siraj is completely ruled out for both the ODI and the T20s. So I think he's definitely been given a rest, but I also see like he's been dropped slash given a rest at the same time.
You surprised by the ODI? You surprised by the T20 squad?
The T20 squad, I mean it's gonna be a little weird, especially now you have no Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Jaddu gone. It does create like I think you're gonna see a lot of people who rightly deserve a shot at playing. I think you'll see a lot more of like Jurel is in the squad. You'll see a lot more like Tilak Verma being in the squad a lot more often now, right? Abhishek Sharma, people like that. I mean, it seems like you've picked your best bunch out of IPL pretty much.
Justice for Ruturaj Gaikwad.
Guaiacard's not getting in this team. Only if MS Dhoni Bhai was captain, he would be.
Yeah,
um,
if MMS was coach, yeah,
Yeah, if I mean, but yeah, I mean, Surya Kumar Yadav as captain, that'll be an interesting
yeah.
one. I mean, him being captain is pretty interesting, and Akshay Patel, I'm happy to see Akshay Patel in it. Hardik Pandya is playing
Harsha Patel
that.
as vice captain, yeah.
Yeah, Washington Sundar. I mean, it's a good T20 squad. Sanju Samsung, which is good. He's finally been getting his run now that Kohli's gone, Sanju Samsung can live in peace and actually get a run of games. But yeah, I think to me the what do you call the squad looked fine. Um, the ODI squad's a little interesting more to me because I think you still have a lot of the old guard there, right? I think in my opinion, you still have like Mohammad Shami, you still have your Jadeja, you still have Kohli, you still have Rohit Sharma. So that squad to me seems a little more aged. And sorry, KL Rahul, who's 32 too. So that squad and Hardik Pandya. So that squad still reminds me of very like classic Indian squad, whereas I think the T20 squad seems to me like a pretty fresh one.
Hmm.
I mean, also I think it'd be just good to see how they are like going into the Champions Trophy, like match fitness wise and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think I have a feeling that's why they have kept Siraj out. Like I think they just have him as a backup sitting there.
I don't think. I think as a backup, I don't think he'll even go as a backup. I think they're gonna have Harshit Rana go as a backup because he's playing as a Bumrah's replacement in the ODI tour in the ODI series.
I
So
think Siraj would
I
have
don't think
played.
he's been
I think Siraj would have played
if he was
as
gone.
Bumrah's backup, but I think he's been rested, sort of. I think rested slash dropped at the same time. It's
Yeah,
hard to
I think he
know.
might be. Yeah, I think he's been dropped completely there at for the moment there.
Yeah. Shall we? Do you have anything else?
Mhm. Yeah, I think looking at Bumrah's, but I'm not for sure. I don't think looking at Siraj's test record at home. So, but he said they're not going to go off by test record. But yeah, but Yeah, he's been dropped. And then obviously Gambhir has a thing for Harshit Rana.
I mean, let's see.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
you've you've brought him as a coach. There's no point of getting rid of him right now.
yeah.
You stick with him until for a year, maybe two, see
Do
how
you think
he's.
he's also on? Do you think he's also on thin ice, Gambhir?
I mean, if we're being very honest, Gambir was going to be on thin ice since day one. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Gambir, but I think he was going to be on thin ice. Gambir is like either like Gambir for I feel with Gambir there's two options. Either it's going to be like an amazing success after a little bit of a bump, or it's going to be like an absolute disaster. There's no like mediocre performance with Gambir coming up, right? Like there's not going to be like, oh, you do like you're doing okay. So
Hmm.
I think you'll know by the end of the summer. I think he definitely has the job until the summer after the England series. When we're
Yeah,
India,
I
yeah. I
think.
think if we also come out of that series embarrassed, and if the champion trophy goes bad, and if we lose this series home to England, I think India will get rid of him.
Yeah, because I was reading because it's being reported that India are going to appoint their not because I mean apart from his coaching staff that they're going to add someone to his coaching staff and it's going to be BCCI and they themselves are
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
appoint a batting coach.
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, that's just personal preference as a coach, but I don't think so. We ever should have got rid of our batting coaches that we had under Shastri and Kohli, right? Those batting coaches were and bowling coach were really good. And if I remember correctly, Rahul Dravid kept the same batting and bowling coach for a good bit too. So
No, I
yeah.
think they all left with Ravi Shastri because there was part they were because they were part of his coaching staff. So
But didn't
I
they
mean
have? Oh
because you
yeah,
always bring in your own coaching staff. So they left when he left Shastri. So I mean, but yeah, look, but like BCCI had said, I mean, and it is being reported that BCCI want to add a batting coach, and then they're gonna choose who they want to add.
yeah, um, yeah. It'll be very interesting to see how it all falls. I mean,
Yeah,
shall we call it there?
yeah, sure.
Yeah, thank you. That's it for this episode of Two Big Sound. We hope you enjoyed the chat as much as we did. It's good to be back after a while. If you have any thoughts, questions, or anything you want to leave us feedback, please drop it in the comments below. And don't forget to hit subscribe, leave us a review, share the podcast with anyone. And thanks. Keep an eye out on the next episode. We'll see you soon.
Bye now, bye.